One. Hi, everybody. Pat Bradley here. Anyway, it's good to see you guys again. And it sounds like old home week, as a lot of you have been attending all these episodes. And I think this is episode 13 or 14.
14.
That's pretty cool, because we started it off just as a way to keep contact with people, originally campers, for a couple of weeks just to maintain contact. And it's evolved into this with presentations on everything from cooking meals for champions to almost like a travel log of paddling in South Africa, dragon boat clubs in South Africa and Argentina and Cyprus and all over the place. So some really cool stuff happening. So today, as I mentioned last time, we're going to shift gears a little bit in that a lot of it has been really directly dragon boat. And today, while it's still dragon boat, we're going to look more at the business and the facility side of the sport. And I think you're going to find it interesting as to what's out there and the role that private business has in our sport. In fact, we wouldn't be here without it. Our second presenters actually are going to be from Nathan Benderson Park. And that will be Megan Farrell, who is the program manager, and Stephen Rodriguez, who is the CEO out there. That's going to be the site of the World Club Crew Championships in Sarasota in 2022. So I've been to this, some of you have been to this facility. I've been to it. It's the most modern, up-to-date, amazing facility for dragon boat and other flat water sports. It's going to be really interesting to get a behind-the-scenes look at that. But our first presenter, and I mentioned private business, is Mike Kirkman from Pan Am Dragon Boat in Tampa, Florida. And Mike's been in the business of dragon boating for 25 years. That means he's almost as old as I am. He and Pan Am, most of you, I think all of you know what Pan Am Dragon Boat is. Full service dragon boat production company that runs everything from festivals to training camps and clinics, corporate training, team building, those kinds of things. These are the guys, the private business. They're the ones that make the investment in the sport. They're the ones that invest in the boats, invest in the staff and the trucks and the trailers. And the reason we're all here is because this guy was a pioneer. He was the first one out of the gate. Originally ran GWN back in the day. It was the first race production company, I think, on the continent. And anyway, without further ado, Michael, good to see you again from your the World Dragon Boat headquarters in Tampa, Florida. And if you could all put your video on speaker view, then Mike will show up. And if you could mute yourselves just so that we don't hear any banging around, and then there'll be an opportunity for some questions at the end of his speech. Okay? So Mike, take it away.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. Thanks, Pat, for the intro. Yes, it is true. I've been in the business a long time, seen it all, been around the world, which is a bonus and benefit of being involved with this sport on a participation and a commercial level. I started, just to give people an idea what I'd like to do with my, I don't know, 20 minutes or so, is spend maybe 3 to 5 minutes on my past, a little bit of history on how I got to where we all are today, but also spend a good amount of time just talking about present day situation, my own personal outlook for the future, what I think is bound to happen, good is going to happen, and then take some questions. Like I said, I've been involved in every aspect of the sport. I started, as Pat mentioned, I did start Great White North. That was a business I started in, I guess, probably around 1992. I had a partner in Toronto, Barbara Goldberg, a great lady, and together we grew that business for 13 years. But just taking a step back for a second, my first exposure to dragon boat was, like many of you, as a paddler. by a young Chinese woman in Toronto in 1989. It was the first festival in Toronto at Ontario Place. I was asked to come and paddle for a team. I had never paddled competitively at the time. I was involved in many other sports, so I guess my recruiter felt I had some just natural ability to be a decent paddler, and off I went. And I was very lucky to get on actually a very, very good team. It was a team of marathon paddlers who were up against a lot of the sprint paddlers in Toronto. There was Mississauga Canoe Club, West Rouge Canoe Club. Some of you might be tuned into all this. But I was in a boat with Stan Mahachuk, who many of you might know. The old dog is in Florida now every year, still paddling at, I don't know, what's he, 100 years old, Pat? But I actually paddled in C10. You know, I was relegated to C10, and Stan was up there, and I can't even remember some of the other paddlers, but I got onto a very good boat, a very fast boat, and that was part of what kind of hooked me, because we made it to the championship final race, and here I was, somebody who had never paddled any kind of boat before, other than a recreational canoe, and I ended up in this championship race, and that was an interesting race, to say the least. Lots of shenanigans, but not to get into too much detail there. At the time, I was working for a public utility, Ontario Hydro. I had been a millwright and then an engineer, and started to get a little, tired of the corporate scene, and had some entrepreneurial tendencies, I suppose, and decided that I would continue in the sport of dragon boating. I joined a local club to continue paddling the following summer, and some of my team members, I should say, at the same time, my family, we owned a furniture factory in Honduras, in Central America. We built all sorts of types of furniture and other items out of wood. And I would go down every winter for a number of weeks and help to retool the factory and develop new products. So some of my team members in 1990 said, hey, Mike, while you're down there, jokingly, how about you build us a couple of dragon boats? Because it was very expensive at the time to rent the teak boats from the Chinese community that had brought them in from Hong Kong the previous year. Very expensive. They were charging $100, $200 an hour to rent these boats to train. And so I thought, hey, what the heck? I took some measurements off the old teak boats, and off I went to Honduras that winter, and built a couple boats, shipped them back to Toronto, and that was really the start of the entire commercial enterprise. One boat I sold immediately. I wasn't trying to sell it, but a local hospital sponsored their team to buy the boat. And I thought, wow, I made a few bucks there, and I kept the other boat to start up a new club in Toronto, and I was kind of off to the races then. And it only took about a year after that to quit my job and start a dragon boat business. Built some additional boats down south in Honduras, shipped them up, started running some events, met my business partner, Barbara, somewhere in there. We met and decided that together we would start a company called Great White North, and that's sort of the evolution and spawning of the dragon boat business in Canada. Over the years, we expanded to many more small towns and cities in Ontario, eventually expanded into the US, and that went on for 13 years. I was involved with providing boats to World Championships in Philadelphia in 2001, to Cape Town. We shipped our boats to Cape Town in 2003 or 4. you know, there's a lot in there that I could go into, but it would take, honestly, quite a long time to go through it all. But eventually, my business partner and I decided, you know, we would sort of hang up the gloves, and she was moving on to other ventures, and I was thinking about other ventures, and so we put the business up for sale, I guess in 2006. And we had an interested buyer and went through all that rigmarole, and finally did sell the business in 2007, conditional on myself and staying on board to assist the new owners in running the business, getting them up to speed, getting some new staff up to speed. So I did years. And then decided I had a couple of other ventures I wanted to move into. I also wanted to kind of semi-retire, move to Florida with my family. So all that was kind of spinning around in my head, how to make all that happen. I had a year of non-compete with Great White North, but we did move to Florida ultimately, to Tampa, where I am now. Did my year of non-compete, worked on some other ventures that are still sort of ongoing in the background with myself and my other members of my family. And but after a year, you know, I started to get a little bit antsy. You know, I wanted to get back into the Dragon Boat business. I had a lot of requests, not only from old clients of mine, but new clients, and obviously the potential for the sport in Florida to develop and grow was very alluring. And so I did start up again. It was just a matter of acquiring some equipment, you know, starting to develop our client base back up again. And that was, I guess, so that was 2010 through 2011. And like any business, it's just been a growth process. You know, we went through a few lean years to get the business going. And, but ultimately, as of the end of 2019, you know, Pan Am was, if not close to being, could have been, I haven't done the math, but probably the largest Dragon Boat service company in North America. And all set to grow in 2020 as well, quite frankly. We were going to have a banner year. And then I guess the shite hit the fan, so to speak. And I, like a lot of small business owners in North America, you know, I've been on a bit of an extended vacation, if you can call it that. Just trying to, you know, make some determinations, be pragmatic about the business model. Is it something that's going to be viable in the future? Is it something that is going to have a V-shaped recovery like everybody's talking about? Or are we looking at another period of many years of trying to reestablish profitability, try to reestablish client base, participant base, paddlers? You know, the jury's out on all of that, and every week and month that go by provides new information and a new opportunity to reevaluate where the sport is going in the coming years. Is it in a, you know, the question really from a business perspective and a paddling perspective, is this an existential crisis for the sport of Dragon Boat, or is it something that is going to recover to its previous glory, or are we looking at major modifications to the sport that may or may not make the business of the sport viable, quite frankly? So lots of things spinning in my head, as you can imagine. I think all the businesses that compete in this space or participate in the Dragon Boat production space are feeling the same way I am, wondering what the future will hold. You know, looking at their bank accounts every day and wondering how it's all going to flush out, because obviously hotels and airlines and restaurants, there is a red line that any business will cross and say, look, it's just not working. And then entrepreneurs generally move on to something else. So sounds a bit pessimistic, I suppose. It's doom and gloom, but I'm hoping things obviously bounce back, and we haven't quite given up on 2020 yet. We have one event in Florida in November, Lake Hernando, that is still, they just had a meeting the other day, and they're still trying to pull something off. It would be a modified version of a festival. They would look to, obviously, some of the clubs in Florida, whether they would look at the opportunity to participate in a modified type festival, and some information on that is still pending. But generally speaking, you know, that's not going to that's neither here nor there as far as the viability of this business or any of the other businesses out there. We're really looking at spring 2021, whether or not the sport can just kickstart again, and we're really not sure about that yet.
Hey, Mike, the sport will kickstart again. We're all positive. The athletes are going to make it happen somehow. I think because we don't have that much time left, can you describe like what exactly do you guys do? Like, what is Dragon Boat Race production? Like, it's more than providing boats. It's more than providing the medals. There's a lot that goes into running an event. And the last thing, economic impact on communities. You guys have done, I mean, I've worked with you guys on some events. I remember Conrad and I had the pleasure and the honor of going to the hospital at St. Jude's Hospital in Memphis, having us come over with dragon boats because we were getting ready to stage an event that weekend. And they were the recipient. They were the charity for that event. And you know, that event really touched that community in a big, big way, not just financially, but a lot of the kids came out to play around on the dragon boats from St. Jude's Hospital. And it was a really touching thing. So economic impact, social impact. Memphis is one, North Carolina is another one. But yeah, maybe a little bit about, you know, what does it take to put on an event? What's going on behind the scenes there? Is it just you? You just show up in shorts and a t-shirt and everything just happens?
Yeah, I just snap my fingers and it just magically all appears, right? Obviously being a little facetious, but this, you know, up until probably, I haven't heard it in a few years, but there was a period of time when, you know, people would approach me after an event on the weekend. Oh, you know, great job, great event, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, what do you do for a living? What's your real job? Because from their perspective, you know, an event goes great, it looks very easy, put some boats in the water, what's the big deal? I can tell you that this is a very labor-intensive business, behind the scenes, you know, lots of moving parts. And some people also think, well, it's just seasonal. So what does Mike and his staff, full-time staff, do from December through March, let's say? Well, it takes a lot of planning and a lot of reconnecting with clients, you know, writing new contracts, negotiating with sponsors, trying to find new events, promotion, marketing for the camps and clinics. We do a lot of product development to improve boats, paddles, life jacket, you know, all the equipment. We develop new equipment. There's a ton going on in the off season to try and make the coming season flow much smoother. When you arrive as a paddler at an event and you see the race course buoys in and hang on one second. And you know, boats are all set up and you know, tents and porta potties and all these things. You know, there is a ton of work that goes into organizing, pre-planning, and executing on those things. And when you do that weekend to weekend to weekend to weekend, and sometimes in a lot of cases, you know, there's 3 or 4 events that you're producing in one given weekend. So we may do the event in Tampa, but unbeknownst to most of the paddlers, we're also running a race in, Henderson, Nevada, the same weekend, or Austin, Texas, or wherever. And so this is a big engine that just has to run on all cylinders all the time, because there is no margin for error in this business. So it's funny, sometimes I get some paddlers who sometimes just want to work for us to make a little bit extra cash. I say, yeah, come on out to our warehouse and our shop, and you can help us prep for an event, clean boats, load boats, repair boats, get all the equipment together, load the trailers, learn how to use the crane trucks and they're just, after that experience, as paddlers, they're just shaking their heads going, wow, like how much goes into preparing for an event on any given weekend. And that starts on the Monday. Basically, when we're done cleaning up, loading boats after an event, we take those boats back to the shop. Starting Monday morning, they've got to be unloaded, cleaned, power washed, no client of mine wants dirty, sandy boats in bad condition with, busted seats and things like that. They all want boats in pristine condition. So every week, all that process starts over again. So it's circular. And again, some of these people who experience this week-long prep and tear down from a previous event, they have a new appreciation of what it takes to run a business like this.
Mike, can you
your second
sorry.
point about,
yeah, I was just going to get to that. Great.
Yeah, so your second point about the economic impact, besides just all these businesses now essentially being cash flow insolvent, it's almost like our hearts more so go out to our clients. Almost all of our clients are, as you mentioned, charities or nonprofits, and the Dragon Boat Festival is a major event for them as far as fundraising goes. If you totaled up all the money raised by all the companies for charities over the years, it is multi-millions of dollars that are raised to go to good causes, and these folks are really hurting as well. They have staff they have to pay, they've got their own overhead, office rent, things like that, and they're starting to feel pressure to have to furlough these people. We're all trying to keep staff on board as long as we possibly can. Some companies get stimulus, but at some point, the negative cash flow starts to impact every business and every charity. So yeah, it's hard on everybody, and I know paddlers feel it's hard on them because they've lost their social connections to some degree, to a large degree, and their fitness goals and things are affected, their paddling goals and ability to gain rewards at events, medals, those sorts of things that I see everybody so fabulously happy about every year just aren't happening, and that's tough. But realize also the Dragon Boat companies and all the clients and charities, man, it is very tough on them as well, and we're hearing that from all our clients.
All right. I just wanted to leave on a positive with this. What do you've contributed so much to St. Jude's? What are some of the charities? Is it okay to say that, or do you mind mentioning some of the communities that you've been involved in and some of the larger charities that you supported?
Well, boy, I'd have to sort of go through our we've got over 40 events a season, and off the top of my head, in Florida, geez, I can't remember the name of all of them, but there's Habitat for Humanity, there's Boys and Girls Clubs, there's up in Green Bay, Gadsden, Alabama, Habitat for Humanity, there's the Mayo Clinic Foundation up in Wisconsin, various community organizations, the Chinese Cultural Center in Milwaukee, there's a bunch of our clients are actually dragon boat organizations like Buffalo, who do good works for breast cancer survivorship in the Buffalo Niagara region. You know, this was their major fundraiser. Just King's Daughters Hospital, Children's Hospital in Norfolk.
That's okay. I didn't mean to put you on the spot. I just wanted people to appreciate the scope of the support that dragon boat production companies have, not just to the athletes, but the impact it has on the communities. And we're gonna have to push on a little bit. Does anybody have any final questions for Mike before we slide off here to Nathan Benderson?
Yeah, this is Jamie in Jacksonville.
Go ahead, Jamie.
Hey, Mike, good to see you. My question is, of the events that you do, is the larger percentage mostly charity and festival type events, or is there a good percentage of corporate events that would be a private client that might want a team building or an annual meeting kind of event or so forth?
I'd say less than 5% of our business is doing private events for corporations. I would hazard to say that if we had promoted that more, I mean, really done a big sales into the corporate community, we would do more of those. But I have to say, in season, we're so busy already. It's almost like, you know, we dread having to do a midweek event. An event on a Wednesday or Thursday afternoon is, you know, it brings in some revenue, sure. The margins are actually very good for these corporate type events, but as I mentioned earlier, we're in the midst of trying to prepare for traveling on Friday, set up Fridays, event production Saturdays, and then packing up and trying to get home on Sundays or off to the next Dragon Boat City. So sidebar type revenue source. If we could dedicate a team and a fleet of boats, et cetera, to that avenue of the business, we would probably do fairly well. I would say it would grow for sure.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thanks again, Mike. Are you there?
Yes.
Okay. All I've got Jamie on my screen here. No offense, Jamie, but time to say goodbye. How come you're still there? There you go, Mike. Thanks. Okay, so at the end, I don't know if Mike's still going to be around, but if you want to get in touch with Mike, have any questions for him, maybe you want to work for him someday, or maybe you've got an event you want to put on, or maybe just ask you're interested in the whole business, feel free to email him directly, and if you don't know how to get a hold of him, you can get a hold of myself or Liz, and we can certainly connect you. And thanks a lot, Mike. Glad we were able to catch you at home today.
Well, anytime, anytime.
Well, hopefully not anytime, but yeah. Anyway, thanks a lot, Mike. Appreciate it. Okay, so we're going to move on to Megan and Steve at Nathan Benderson Park. And I'm going to pass the host over. That's why I'm stumbling a bit here. I got to pass the host over to these guys. So there'll be a slight break here. Okay, Doug, you should see yourself as the host now.
Yes.
Okay, if everybody could go on speaker view again. How come I have... Is everybody still seeing Mike on the big screen?
Nope, we're seeing you.
We see you.
Okay, how come I'm stuck with Mike? Okay, so it should be, Doug, you've got the host now. I'm not sure why this isn't.
I think maybe it's because if anybody moves and they're not on mute, then it takes over the screen.
Okay, so can everybody go on mute, please? Ah, there we go. Okay, so Nathan Benderson Park. They haven't been around for a long time. I'm seeing here I'm not sure when you guys started, but I'm sure you guys will bring us up to speed on that. And it was 2013 or 14 or something like that. And we see Megan and Stephen in front of us here. They just finished their banking, it looks like. Anyway, what a spectacular view behind you of Nathan Benderson Park. And I'm not going to waste a lot of time with the intro other than to say it has got to be one of, if not the top flat water facility that I've ever seen. And I've been around a little bit. And today we're lucky enough to have these guys give us a little bit of a tour and a little bit of a background on Nathan Benderson Park, which is where the Club Crew World Championships are going to be in 2022. So without further ado, guys, can I turn it over to you guys?
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for having us. And hello, everyone from Sarasota, Florida. And just to give you some perspective, you can see the view behind us here, but we're sitting at on the 5th floor of the finish tower at Nathan Benderson Park. And technically we're probably about 6 meters away from the finish line. And you're looking up the course towards the start. So that gives you a little bit perspective of what you're seeing here behind us. But we put together a little video clip without sound. I'll be talking a little bit over it, but just to give you some imagery of the park. And Doug's gonna put that on right now.
As soon as I figure out what I'm doing, so bear with me, please.
So you're gonna share the screen?
Yes, as soon as I figure out what I'm doing.
But while we are putting this on, and hopefully everyone can see it. So Nathan Benderson Park is a 600-acre park. Can everyone see that video? I see us, but yeah, okay.
Can y'all see and hear us?
I see a nod. Okay, good. So Nathan Benderson Park is a 600-acre park. It's a Sarasota County-owned park, but it's operated by a private nonprofit organization, which is us, Ccwc. And we're located in Southwest Florida and on the north side of Sarasota County, adjacent to the county line in the Bradenton area. So the park, we host well over 100 events a year, as well as scores of training teams and clubs in the wintertime. And we're home to various programs, including 4 dragon boat teams that paddle out here throughout the year. So Nathan Benderson Park is a community park for local residents to enjoy, but it's also a premier international event facility and hosts to many international, national, and regional competitions, including many Pan Am Dragon Boat events, thank you, Mike, and GWN events. We also had hosted the 2014 IBCPC Dragon Boat Festival. And as you know, we were recently awarded the 2021 USDBF National Club Crew Championships and the 2022 IBBF World Club Crew Championships. So the park is unique because 66% of our 600 acres is water. And you're looking at the finish tower right now in this video. And the main lake has been purposely shaped to encompass a 2,000-meter rowing and paddling course, which is a FISA certified grade A course, the only one of its kind in North America. The course offers 9 racing lanes, and as soon as the video ends and you see behind us, you might be able to see them, but that are marked year-round with an Albano buoy system. And all lanes have been dredged for a consistent minimum depth of 3.5 meters to reduce drag. And the course also features, and you might be able to see that behind us, a mile-long wave attenuation system that absorbs weight to encourage calm waters, but it also doubles as a TV lane during events as well. So the park is, we're equipped with state-of-the-art equipment here, complete with internet connectivity all the way down the course through the wave attenuation system. We have movable start platforms and IMUS bow holding system, and we even have the system for dragon boats that drops down. We have audio and visual start systems, webcast quality cameras throughout the course, a finish links timing system with reverse angle cameras, and state-of-the-art announcing and broadcasting equipment as well. So 500 meters of the course is clearly visible from where we are right now, Regatta Island, which is the event epicenter. And the remaining course, parts of the course can be viewed through the park's Jumbotron and numerous monitors that we have here on site. So the lake is part of an overall water system, which actually flows in and feeds into the drinking water system for up in the city of Bradenton, which is just north of us. Therefore, water depth is never an issue here. In addition, we monitor water quality on a regular basis. So we have a good, clean water system here, consistent depths, and most importantly, the lake itself is under complete jurisdiction of Sanka of the park. So we're able to control the water, and during events have safe traffic patterns and so forth. No motorboats are allowed on the water except for those boats that we utilize for events and for safety. So it makes for a very good venue for all water sports, that we can keep it controlled and keep limited access to the lake without checking with any outside authorities or anything. So another benefit to the facility is the location. And as you know, those of you that have traveled around and gone around the world, that a lot of locations aren't necessarily close to town and easily accessible and so forth, but we're in a very accessible location. We're just adjacent to I-75, and we have 2 exits that service the park from both the north and the south end. We're miles away from the Sarasota Bradenton Airport, and we're about 45 minutes away from the Tampa International Airport north of us. So, and we also are conveniently located next to a entertainment and retail district called the UTC. So just north of us, literally in walking distance, there's hundreds of retail stores and restaurants and so forth for visitors here to enjoy.
So as Stephen mentioned, in addition to it being a multi-sport venue, we're also a community park, so we offer community programming. And Dragon Boat was actually our first program here at the park in 2014. And that was Survivors in Sync, which is our breast cancer team. And they've gone on to be an incredibly successful group. And we've been lucky enough to continue to expand since 2014 and grow the rest of the program. As Stephen mentioned, we have 4 other teams or crews. I know that everybody has different terminology on that. But yeah, as far as paddling at the park, it's a unique experience. I would say our home teams have a home court advantage, being able to practice out here every day. A lot of you guys are coaches, our participants can respect that being able to practice on a buoyed course every day is a huge advantage as far as, you know, boat selection and doing time trialing, and having that in your backyard every practice certainly helps a lot. We have 8 docks that are accessible. I know a lot of teams aren't as fortunate enough to be in a position where, I know a lot of them will just store a boat on a trailer and they do a wet launch every practice. We're lucky enough to store all of our equipment on site, hop in and out of the boats, lock everything up, and it's kind of turnkey ready. It's a lot less high maintenance, I guess, than other sites. It's very convenient. We also have the finish tower that we're in right now, and that's a huge asset, especially in southern Florida in the summers. Every evening you got a 50-50 shot of lightning storm, so obviously you don't want to be in the water for that. Our teams have the ability to come inside and train on the fitness equipment that we have inside the tower, so that's proven to enhance training as well. And I think our coaching staff and the amenities that we have here has contributed to the success and growth of the program in general. You're still on mute.
Yeah, you're still muted.
Pat, you're still on mute.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay. Sorry. Does anybody have any questions in regards to the facility? Okay, well, I certainly do.
I have a question as well, Pat, when you're done.
Okay, what are
And
the, okay, Mike, if you could mute just for a second, then I can get back on to, and you too, Cynthia. How come I got Cynthia? Okay, anyway, my question is, what are the each level of that finish tower? Such a beautiful facility. What's the function of each of those floors? What were they designed for?
Yeah, so the finish tower was designed to really be multifunctional, and in terms of the regatta or race day functionality, on the 5th floor, typically it's utilized for event organization or administration. We'll typically headquarter on the 5th floor of the tower. Right above the 5th floor is an open air balcony that has been utilized for a number of different functions. It's been utilized before for having VIP and so forth up there, but also it's a great area to be spotting and having a safety crew up there to be spotting the boats. The 4th floor is for announcing and broadcasting. And I always refer to the finish tower as kind of the brains of the facility, in the sense that all that technology and fiber optics and everything runs all and connects right here to the finish tower. So everything can run out of the 4th floor for announcing. It can run out of here for broadcasting, whether that's webcasting or television broadcasting. We are completely set up to be plug and play for broadcast quality. So we have fiber optics running the entire length of the course. So we're easily connected, you know, for television broadcast. The 3rd floor is timing and officials. And then the 2nd floor, which actually is our most popular floor year round in terms of renting it out for receptions and so forth. But the 2nd floor is typically a VIP viewing area. It does have indoor space just like all the other floors, but it has a very large outdoor balcony as well that's open air. It can fit hundreds of people out there, which is beautiful for receptions, but also during race time to watch. And then the ground level, the finish tower, obviously provides shade. And we literally have, I'm going to use a bad word, but they are called big ass fans. We have 3 of them down there that keep everything cool. And we have steps that people can sit on. And we've actually transformed before those steps into seating and VIP seating right there at the finish line, as well as media operations down there. So that's kind of the function of the finish tower. And one unique feature too is on every floor of the finish tower, there's a line that goes across the ceiling. I'm looking at it right now and you can't see it, and it goes down the back wall, and that is exactly the finish line. And it is certified and all the way down to the millimeter. And so, you know, anywhere when you're inside, you're standing, you know where you're standing in terms of the finish line.
I never knew that. I've been in there. I never knew that. That's great. What an amazing facility. Mike, you had a question?
Yeah, Stephen, the buzz is that the next phase of infrastructure development is on track and construction pending. Can you tell us a little bit about what else is going in? We're going to see on Regatta Island in the next couple of years?
Yeah, so we are moving ahead with all of our fundraising efforts and plans, and actually the final stages of design of a state-of-the-art boathouse that we'll be adding on to Regatta Island. And it actually will end up being, you can't quite see the area right behind us because it's a little bit off the screen, but it will be down on the south side of Regatta Island. And right now the design has approximately 10 boat bays, total boat bays, that we can utilize for our resident teams, as well as for visiting teams, and also any other functions of event functions. We would have approximately 15,000 square feet of indoor meeting and classroom space in there as well for year-round use, as well as again for event use. And then our administrative offices would be housed in that boathouse. Now, one one kind of behind the scenes thing to know about is that, you know, the original orientation of that boathouse was designed to run east and west along the traditional launch and recovery area for the sport of rowing. And we actually have been leaning towards and playing with new designs that run the orientation north and south, which would still give accessibility to that launch and recovery area, but actually, since the boat bays would be double-sided, the backside of the boat bays would open up straight to the beach, which would be perfect for dragon boat, you know, events and launching off of there, and then having a shaded covered area as well. So we're very excited about that opportunity. And again, we don't know how COVID is going to affect us, but we're moving forward and aggressively moving forward as our next addition here and amenity at the park. Was there another question? I think there was someone else that had a question.
Still on mute?
I have a couple of questions. Actually, I have 3 questions. But first, what a beautiful facility. And as someone that occasionally steers, the buoy system is just such a welcome change from what we sometimes see. No offense, Mike. But my first question is, I know you're a park. If there's not an event going on, can someone just come and put their OC1 in there and just start paddling?
Absolutely. And Megan, you could talk a little bit more about water operations with you.
Yeah, so we are a community park. So there's a public access boat ramp on the southeast corner, which is over here, of the park. But you're also welcome to use any of the 8 main docks that we have on Regatta Island to launch your boat off. So if it's your own personal craft, it's a community park. We welcome anybody to come out. We've had sometimes we get a couple sailboats, people who come out here and launch and just want to go somewhere closer that isn't the ocean and use it, or OC paddlers who want to use, get on the buoyed course, obviously, and train there. So yeah, there's no charge or anything if it's your own boat. We just ask that you are on the water during sunlight hours. That's
Is there a fee for that?
No, it's a community park. As long as you're accessing, it's your own boat, your own vessel. It's allowed to do.
I'll combine my other 2 questions. I was a nonprofit fundraiser for many, many years. So I was curious if you are a nonprofit organization, is that how you operate? And then secondly, could you tell us a little bit about the bid process to get these great festivals that you've secured coming up?
Sure. So the answer is yes. We are a 501c3 nonprofit organization. And you know, the bid process, well, the most recent one we went through was for the IDBF Club Crew World Championships, and that was quite an exciting process. And you know, I think that we felt confident going into that and traveling to Thailand for that bid presentation. Simply because we knew we had a wonderful facility and a lot of experience with world events, you know, even though they may not have all been Dragon Boat, but hosting, you know, and creating local organizing committees and the nuts and bolts that are involved with that. But coming there, you know, or going to Thailand, we very much understood that we were the new kids on the block, you know, and that's the first time that we had bid on a world championship event with IDBF, and you know, I think that Mike Kirkman was very instrumental in helping us maneuver through that, as well as USDBF, and you know, we really focused on trying to do the best to explain the amenities that this facility has, the location, you know, all the great benefits that make us unique, you know, to really other venues throughout the world, you know, the accessibility, and then also our experience with you know, local organizing committees and gathering transportation plans and so forth. And even, I'll tell you, one big question is always the visas, you know, for international travel. And I'll tell you that we're proud to say here that in the last 3 years of World Championship events that we've hosted here at the park, we haven't lost a single participant because of not being able to get a visa. So we have very close connections with the State Department and local officials, and we work hard towards trying to get through that process and educating everybody on that process. So so it was really fun and exciting to go out there to Thailand and to win that event at the first shot. And we're looking forward to putting on a great first-class event, something that all the paddlers deserve. That is our pride, and that's our focus, that we always recognize that the athletes are they're the priority. So we want the experience to be positive here. We want it to be easy. And we want everyone to be able to come in and focus on coming in and racing and making that part easy, and then going out and having a good time. So we hope everybody enjoys themselves here in Sarasota.
Well, congratulations. I think all of us in the U.S. are proud that you got that event, and then particularly us in Florida. It's just really incredible. You do an awesome job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
Is
very
that a Georgia hat you're wearing?
Yes, sir, it is.
Well, I'm an SEC person, but I'm a Gator. So.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm sorry, but.
So we've got time for another question, for one more question, if anybody has anything regarding Nathan Benderson. I have one concern about Nathan Benderson before I let you guys go. You got the capacity for a 2,000-meter straight run race, correct?
That is correct.
Let's never ever use that for dragging boat. Let's keep doing this the 500-meter.
Stay on the NASCAR course.
Yeah. And I'm just going to close off here, and then we'll go to our Mondrell moment in a minute. I saw him stretching there in the background, getting ready for this. I really want to thank both you presentations from Nathan Benderson and from Pan Am and Mike. I don't know, because I'm not in that business. Well, I sort of am. I'm a coach. I hope everything works out the way it should be. There's a lot of positive human spirit, human energy behind this sport driving it. And I think we all appreciate the investment in time and the risks that you guys have taken in terms of investment in your equipment and developing your programs and staffing and so on. So that's what I was sort of hoping would happen today, is that people would have a better understanding as to what it takes to keep this sport afloat, no pun intended. It's not the paddlers. We're the recipients of what you guys provide. So I can't thank you guys enough. I wish you well. I know things are going to work out. We're going to get through this thing, and we're all going to come out. We're going to be tougher for sure on the other side. What it looks like, I don't know, but I'll tell you one thing: we're going to be paddling dragon boats. So thank you very much, everybody. And for our last, just like the 60 Minutes program, we're going to close off. We don't have Andy Rooney with us, but we have Mondrell for a Mondrell moment. And I didn't mention Doug Jesmer. Doug, if you stick your face in the screen there, he was the production manager for the event at Nathan Benderson. He learned how to do Zoom and set up the video in short order. So thanks for that, Doug. Doug, can you pass the host? If you look for somebody, a name by the name of Mondrell, you can pass the host over to him.
Let me see here. Is that under participant? No, it's not there.
Yeah, go to participants.
Alrighty, and then let's see.
Look for Mondrell. If there's a picture of him, it'll have him without a shirt on, likely.
Make host. I think I did it.
Yep.
Okay. Unmute. Okay, hello. Am I on? Can you hear me?
I'm afraid so.
Okay. All right, cool. Before I get to the Mondrell moment, I just wanted to mention something about Mike Kirkman and Pan Am, the talk he had earlier. I'm in Minocqua, Wisconsin, and he puts on the event up here. And the first year of the event was 2016. And that event is put on by a nonprofit healthcare organization up here. And the first year, 2016, that event raised $267,000. So that's an incredible amount of money. So that kind of ties in with what we were talking about earlier. When 2 weeks ago when I did the Mondrell moment, I used my my stopwatch because I'm under pressure to keep my segment under 5 minutes, and it worked very well. I was done in like 4 minutes and 48 seconds. So I'm going to use the timer again today. I'm also going to keep track of my stroke rate because I can do that. All right, so here we go. Ready, go. I'm on. Okay. Today the name of my segment is The Totem Pole. So in 2016, I tried to start a mixed team up here and I didn't have much luck. 2017, I went to a female team, an all women's team. 2017, we practice up here on a lake that has some beautiful homes on it. So in 2017, we're out practicing, and it's a crucial moment during the practice. I'm giving one of my coach's speech about technique or something, and the boat is stopped in front of one of these really nice homes on the lake. And as I'm talking, because you can see all the paddlers sitting in front of you, I noticed that one of the girls is looking over at the house. She's not listening to a word I'm saying. I just keep talking, and pretty soon she touches the paddler next to her and whispers something to her. Now two of them are looking over at this house. They're not listening to me. So then that paddler taps the girl in front of her on the shoulder and points over at the house. So now there's three of them looking over at the house. I'm still talking, trying to get across a coaching point. And I can see I'm losing the boat. I'm losing the crowd, right? So a couple more people see them looking over there, so they start looking over there. So pretty soon I got half the boat not paying attention. They're looking over at this house. Well, what they were really looking at was this particular house. They have a big pole. It's a tree in their yard. It's probably 40 feet high, and it's got all these chainsaw carvings in it. And it's got like a replica of an eagle's nest, a full-size eagle's nest, and it's got eagles cut into it and some other carvings. It's actually pretty beautiful. It's a really cool thing. But the point I'm trying to make is that they're all looking at this and not listening to me. So after a while, I said, "Come on, what are you guys doing?" And I got the boat back and I got out of there. So that from that point on, what I would do was every time we got a new paddler on the boat, I would go out to the totem pole. I call it the totem pole. We would go out there and I would have that paddler look at the totem pole, and I would tell them the story about, distractions in the boat and listening to the coach when he talks. And so fast forward to this season. This season we're running 10 paddlers in a boat, and there's 30 paddlers. So each paddler is assigned to a boat, and the boats are named by color. So we have the red, white, and blue boats, and you're assigned to a boat. Well, the red boat this year is basically beginners. I got a couple of people on that boat that paddled a little bit last season, but the majority of the paddlers on that boat, it's their first season ever paddling. So the red boat is a lot of fun because they're new paddlers and they're learning. A couple of weeks ago, we were stopped in front of a different dock, and I was explaining something, and I noticed a couple of paddlers were looking over at something on a dock over there. And so I, paddles up, let's go, and I got away from the dock, and I got their attention back. The very next practice, I realized that I had not taken them out to see the totem pole. So the very next practice, as soon as we left the dock, I took the whole boat over to the totem pole, and I stopped the boat. And I said, "Hey, everybody, look at this. This is really cool. Look over at this totem pole over here." And they're all looking over there, and they're like, "Oh, wow, that thing is gorgeous. It's beautiful." I said, "Yeah, it really is, isn't it?" And then I proceeded to tell them the story about the original story from 2017. And I told them, I said, take one last look, because this is the first time and the last time you're ever going to see the totem pole in this boat. I guess where I'm going with this is I'm at 4 minutes and 16 seconds, so I'm doing well, and I'm about to wrap this up. So I guess where I'm going with this is when the coach is talking, please pay attention. It's, you know, it's just the right thing to do. I do have my motivational board today, and I found a quote. Today's quote is from the former baseball player Greg Maddux, and it says, can you see this, everybody? It says, I daydream just like everybody else. I just do it with my body facing the field, so everybody thinks I'm paying attention. Okay, that's about all I have. I'm at 5:05, so I'm probably 2 weeks ago after this segment, I got an attaboy email. So I'm expecting to get another attaboy this week, because I'm at 5 minutes and 20 seconds, 21 seconds. I'm going to stop the clock, and I'm going to pass this back to our host, Pat Bradley.
Well done, Mondrell. I like that. All right. Well, thank you, everybody, and thanks again to the presenters. I didn't know I could paddle down at Nathan Benderson Park and just take my boat down there and rip up and down the race course. So I think, Liz, I think we might do that sometime soon. Thanks again, everybody. Next week, our focus is going to be on officiating. So we're going to try to get a chief IDBF official from Australia to join us, and maybe somebody from the USDBF as well. And there'll be a surprise in there, not including Mondrell. Mondrell will be there, he just won't be a surprise. All right, well, thanks again, everybody. Appreciate it. Always good to see you guys. And remember, the session is recorded. The lion's share of our participants or viewers view the recorded sessions, not the live. So nice of you to be here. Spread the word. If anybody's got any ideas on presentations, things they'd like to see, or maybe you'd even like to do a presentation, we thought of a new theme that we might introduce. We got the Mondrell moment. We might do a 10-minute paddles and pans episode, which are with a real quick cooking or dietary kind of thing. So if anybody has any knowledge on that, I certainly don't, but I'm always willing to hear more. Liz is shaking her head. Anyway, thanks again, everybody. And Mondrell, quit looking at the clock. You were 20 seconds over, actually, so you don't get an attaboy today. Okay, did you pass the host back to me, by the way? Did you? Okay. All right, thanks again, everybody. Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Steve, Megan, and Doug for putting on the show. And you guys all stay safe this weekend, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thanks.